Welcome to K-Drama Divas, a podcast and community for passionate fans of Korean dramas. Join us as we explore the captivating world of K-dramas, discussing the latest releases, timeless classics, and everything in between. Whether you're a seasoned K-drama addict or just stepping into this addictive realm, get ready to laugh, cry, and fangirl with the K-Drama Divas. Welcome to the K-Drama Divas podcast. Today we are discussing a new drama that we all watched together called Marry My Husband. And it's been super popular and just ended the end of February. I almost said November. It's been a long day.
Marry My Husband stars Park Min-young as the female lead, Tang Juan, or they say it's so pretty, and when I look at it, I just think Jiwon,
Right.
but it's not how they pronounce it.
Well, we're Washingtonians who want to learn Korean, so it's okay.
We're just not good at it.
We're not. And I hope if you're listening,
Forgive
excuse
us.
our pronunciation.
Yes. And talking about pronunciations, Park Min-young was also the lead in What's Wrong with Secretary Kim and Her Private Life.
Which we love
Loved both of them.
so much.
Yes.
So much. They are two of they're
Yes.
definitely in my top 5.
And yet we haven't done a podcast on them yet either, have we?
Yeah.
There's
we
so
will.
many.
We
I
will.
know.
Yes.
I know. And we've actually, What's Wrong with Secretary Kim and Her Private Life, we all watched together.
Did we?
We did. Didn't we?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think we did.
We watched What's Wrong with Secretary Kim together, for sure.
really,
Because I've seen it.
that's true. I think we did, but we've seen it a ton of times alone, also.
And I don't think we watched her because I think I watched Her Private Life and then you watched it after me.
Oh, okay.
I think.
And I seen it first, but
Of course.
Maureen.
She's the queen.
Yes. Maureen sees all the dramas first, and that's just fine.
no, it may not end up being that way. But
So we have a little bit of a club where we get together, we pick a drama, and we watch it together.
Yes.
And it can take us, normally it doesn't take us that long.
Well, I think it depends. I mean, sometimes our schedules get a little crazy,
mhm.
right? So even though we want to get together to watch a drama, it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah. But this one we finished in about a week.
But it helped that Mark was on his little trip too. So that freed me up a little bit.
yes,
If it
Yeah,
wasn't for that, it probably would have taken us a little longer.
that's true. It would have. And he'd be getting annoyed. Why are you taking all your time
That's right.
with people that aren't me?
Last night I had something going on and I was getting ready to leave and he said something like, I'm just getting used to being home all alone. He's so dramatic. It's like, okay, I've been with you the last 3 days, you know?
Mhm.
He's just getting too attached after all these years.
Yes, he is.
So I loved this drama so much.
Mhm.
It really kind of caught me off guard because I had seen previews. There's a YouTube channel I watch. Is it My Drama List or something? I don't know. But it shows upcoming dramas, and I had seen a preview for this one, and she looked sick, and I could tell that the female lead had cancer, and I thought, I'm not going to watch that.
Right.
It's going to be sad. There's no way. So I was very resistant. I didn't want to watch this, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, okay, so when we first watched it, if you are going to watch it, know that the first episode is difficult. It's difficult to
Yes, actually, the
see
first
her.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
at least,
And then
and then afterwards,
you think it gets better after 30 minutes?
it could get better. I think so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But hang in there.
Yes.
Don't get discouraged. Keep watching it because it is well worth watching.
It is. It is. I really do think it's like the first 30 to 40 minutes that are difficult.
Okay.
And then they'll do flashbacks though. And
Yes.
for some reason, every time they did a flashback, my husband was in the room and he thinks this is the most violent movie of all time or movie show drama of all time. It's really funny, but anyway.
If he'd just sit and watch it, then he would
No.
know
I
differently.
want him to just because I want to watch it all over again.
Right.
But episode 1 starts with Jiwon at the hospital and she's sitting on her bed and she looks extremely frail and I mean, I think she looks like she's on the brink of death.
Right.
She's there with her best friend Sumin.
I really don't care about the best friend anyway.
Maureen cannot separate drama from real life.
I mean, if that's a best friend, oh my gosh.
Yes. Then who needs enemies? Right?
Yes.
So Sumin, the best friend, which obviously she's not. She's there trying to comfort her, and it appears that they have a really super close friendship.
Mhm.
And Jawan confides in her that she thinks her husband's cheating on her on top of everything else that she's going through. And it's just really very sad. So sad.
Right. Yeah.
She's had a sad life,
Right.
really.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, it was, I mean, it was basically horrible ever since she got married.
Yeah, but we
Well,
don't know it right then.
No, no.
and I think, I mean, in episode 1, like we've talked about, she obviously has cancer. She looks horrible. And I remember when Maureen was trying to get us to watch it, Maureen kept talking about, one, it's an actress that we love. She has been in What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Her Private Life, and Forecasting Love and Weather are the ones that I've seen that we love and
Mhm.
love, love, love her. And then Maureen was saying, she lost all of this weight to play this cancer patient. And so seeing her that way was very difficult because she's a very beautiful actress. And so that's difficult to get through, but then seeing the relationship between her and the friend, which you think is such a beautiful, wonderful thing,
Hmm.
And each of their phones, I think it says my other half.
right?
Yes. That's
Right.
the type of friendship they had.
Right. We don't want to we're going to give it all away anyway, but
Yeah,
not right yet.
we probably will. We probably will. But yeah, they're super close. And you're right, it was shocking because she is one of our favorites and
Yeah.
she just doesn't look like herself in that
No.
scene.
I don't think I would have realized that it was her.
I
That's
know.
how
Mhm.
drawn, or how do you say?
Gaunt.
Yeah, gaunt
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
sickly she really does look.
It was a little bit disturbing.
Right. So that's why you just have to get through that first 30 to 40 minutes of the first episode.
Mhm. And so I don't know. I don't remember where Sumin goes, but she says she has to leave. She has to go to work or something, and she leaves Jiwon there.
Right.
And so it's kind of implied that she finishes up her chemo treatment and the staff tells her you need to call your guardian to come and pay
Yeah.
or you need to leave.
Right.
So harsh.
Right.
That seems so harsh,
Mhm.
but I mean, I guess it's true.
Well, and we've talked about that before, so I'd like to really understand that whole process just for knowledge, but
I know. I want to understand the whole medical system and how
right.
that works.
Right.
No idea.
Yeah.
But so she keeps calling her husband and there's no answer. And he's her guardian. So you can see where this is going.
Right. So then she has to leave the hospital, right? And then it all starts from there, right? I think that's really when,
Well, the cab driver.
yes,
Oh,
tell us about the cab
yes.
driver.
Tell us.
Well, she is taking a cab home and she starts talking about her life. And he kind of fast, he moves over switches lanes and he goes this other way and he says, "This is a really good path that I have you on now." And he tells her that basically you can choose another path.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I believe that's what he
Right.
says.
Yeah, that's what he does say. He says you can take a new path.
Yes, a new path. It doesn't seem like she was aware of this other path, a path home, but I mean, it was meant both ways.
So the cool part of they're in the cab and she's kind of dumped everything on him. He is saying there is another path that you can take, meaning another road to get home and another life path. And he's just super, super sweet to her.
Mm.
And he takes her down a road with all of these cherry trees that are all in blossom and beautiful and pink. And it just is a very serene drive versus going through the city and all the
Mhm.
noises and everything else. Um, and then she tries to pay him. Correct me if I'm wrong, because my memory isn't always the best. But she tries to pay him, and he won't take the money from her, right?
Right, right.
So then at some point, does he take it and then
Well,
give her? Oh,
he
go ahead.
takes it, but he gives it back to her.
And there's a heart on
Yes.
whatever for whatever, whether he gives her that or gives her back change. I'm not quite sure.
I think he gives her back what she
Okay,
gave him.
but on the bill is a little blue heart.
Mhm.
So, and that becomes meaningful as you go through the drama.
Yeah, and I mean, he's kind of like a hopeful spot in the
Right,
midst of all her misery,
right.
and she doesn't, I mean, she's not taking him that seriously. You
Hmm.
can choose a different path because she says, "I'm going to die.
Right,
I'll be dead soon." And it's just very sad.
right. But that was her, I mean, given the circumstances, and you'll find out more later, but that all of the things going on in her life, she really was at the end of not only her life physically because of the cancer, but mentally, she had no hope left in anything, in
Mhm.
any part of her life. So
Right.
you can understand why she isn't understanding really what he's saying to her.
Right. And no hope, I would say, minus her friendship with Suman.
Right. That's
Right?
true.
That's the
That is
one
true.
bright light in
You are
her
right.
life at that point.
Yes. Don't forget that. That's
Yeah.
important.
But how quickly does that change?
Fast.
Which happens right away, as you probably all saw coming if you haven't seen the drama already. She gets home, and what does she see?
Red
High
heels.
heel shoes. Yep.
Yes, the same shoes that Sue Min wears. And
And she just was wearing at the hospital
mhm,
before she had left there.
Yes.
yes, they take this close up shot of the red heels while she's there, and you think, why are they doing that?
Right.
Well, you soon find out. And I think the rest of the drama, red heels represent, like, I don't know,
Almost, I mean,
adultery.
adultery, I almost
Yeah.
want to say evil.
Yeah.
That's the first
Yeah.
thought that comes
That's
to my mind is
true.
just pure evil.
Yeah. I'll never look at red high heels the same.
If you have red high heel, donate them.
So what happens? She goes into the house. Well, right away, she knows.
Right.
Like, she knows right away.
Whose shoes they are.
And she knows what's happening.
Right.
And she's walking in almost like a zombie. Like, this can't be, because everything has gone so wrong in her life. And then this is kind of the final thing. She just,
Well, like you said, the one hope she had in that friend is now being shattered,
Right.
mhm,
right?
mhm,
So she walks in and as she's approaching the bedroom where her husband and best friend are, she starts to hear them talking, right?
right.
Right.
About, wasn't sure if I should go here or not.
Yeah, do it. Do
Okay.
it.
Started talking about, I think they were like, as you do in drama, how much they love each other. And then they're talking about money and how she's going to die anyway, and how they've have these life insurance policies or policy. I don't know if it's plural, but
Mhm.
Hmm.
and how I think they are not only looking at it as, she's going to die soon anyway because she is obviously at the end, but I almost wonder if they're thinking, if she doesn't, how can we do it quicker?
Right, right. I think he even says, her husband says, she started losing weight, and I thought, it's finally time
Right,
because her dad died of cancer.
right.
So he took out a cancer policy on her too. Just so evil,
Right.
so evil.
hmm
Yeah.
And the friend mentioned something about, I feel like taking her up, like, I don't know if it was a hillside or whatever, and just casually touching her and letting her fall.
How hard would that be? Yeah, I mean, put yourself in her shoes in the situation she's in and then hearing that. I can't even imagine all the things that if in real life what would have been going, and I'm sure this happens in real life. Unfortunately, these
Yeah.
dramas
hmm
don't come just all completely out of thin air somewhere. Um, but what devastation, what heartbreak, and
Absolutely. Oh,
like
yes.
what really then is there to live for, right?
Yes.
So she probably for the first time in her life, she confronts them and she
Right,
reacts the way anyone would react,
right.
and it does not go well for her.
And it had to been because of how weak she was
hmm
physically and mentally. That had to have been it had to have taken everything out of her,
Right,
right?
right.
That she didn't
Yeah.
have anything left, but she some I guess that adrenaline gets a hold of you, you know?
Mhm.
hmm
And what ends up happening?
She ends up getting pushed, falling backwards into a glass coffee table.
And that's how she dies.
Right.
And I was thinking, what? How could this be? She's dead. We're like 30 minutes
How are
in.
you gonna marry my husband?
But I would also say that's when the story gets amazing
Right.
because she wakes up and where is she?
10 years before.
In her office at work where she works with these two lovely people. Her husband
Yes.
and her supposed best friend.
Yes. And she wakes up and she realizes, like, she knows she's died, and she wakes up and she's crying when she opens her eyes. There's tears. And then I think her husband, or since it's 10 years before, her boyfriend is
Right.
walking toward her. Is that right? Am
Yes.
I remembering correctly?
Yes.
And she just starts screaming
Right.
Yes.
like she's a
Yes.
maniac.
Right. Because she literally had just been killed by
Exactly.
their hands,
Hmm.
Right.
3 seconds before that. So
Yes.
she's,
Yes.
I think she's still in that moment. And
Right,
how,
Mhm.
right.
how crazy and horrific to then
Mhm.
see them walking towards you.
Right. So, and then so much happens in that next
Yeah.
like 20 minutes. I don't even know how to describe it or summarize it because you're introduced to the male lead.
Oh, yes.
Another one of Maureen's heartthrobs.
Her room's covered in posters.
Maureen's not the female lead.
His name his real name is Na En Wu, and he plays Yu Ji Hyatt.
I
I'm not sure.
I don't know how to say his name either. Ji Hike Hayuk? Ji Hayuk?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter because
We can call him the male lead.
Yes,
yes.
it's easier.
And he is really handsome. I do
Oh,
admit.
yes, he is.
Quite a few of them. Can't deny it.
I know. I know. So
Okay.
cute.
All right. Anyway.
Just a side note for you all. But he just like, I feel like, does he appear out of nowhere as she's freaking out? I don't remember.
Is he watching her?
Yes.
I kind of want to say he was
Yes.
watching her.
Yes.
And he basically saves her from the moment.
Right.
I almost want to rewatch it to remember all of it.
Right.
But and we just watched this a week ago. This is
No,
how
it
bad.
hasn't. It's a couple
It's
days
oh,
ago.
I know, but episode 1, actually, I think
That's
episode
true.
1 was
That's true.
was
Right.
2 weeks
Yes.
ago.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I've already forgotten.
Right.
Um,
Well, so
he-
much happens.
so much happens, but
Yes.
he seems like a hero, like a knight in shining armor coming to rescue her
Right.
in episode 1,
Right.
like so many different times.
Right.
Yes.
And I felt very attached to him from the beginning. I was like, he's my favorite.
Right.
Uh-huh.
He just has such a sweet demeanor about him.
Hmm.
So, and you can see when he does approach her and rescues her, you just feel that there's something there. You
Yes.
just know that just it isn't just a co-worker that just happened to be there at that moment and
Mhm.
does something out of obligation. It's very intentional.
Yes, absolutely. And you also think, like, what is up with him? Because he's so preoccupied with her.
Right.
Yet when she has her flashbacks of the life she lived, he's not in those flashbacks.
Right.
He was just her employer before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this mystery, what has changed?
Right.
And you learn later, but we don't have to go into that too much right now or at all.
Well, and I'll say a side note. So on our last podcast, we talked about Another Miss O
Hmm.
and how just the slightest changes in your life can change your path in your life completely. And so this reminds me of that as well.
Yes.
Just the
Yes.
slightest little things, just one different decision. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's another
Yes,
little side note.
it's true, but that's a huge theme of this whole drama
Yeah.
is that our choices impact our life, and
Right.
one change
Right.
can make all the difference. So episode 1 sets the stage. I mean, I guess all episode 1s set the stage, right? In Korean dramas, but
Yes.
it's so good. I just love it. And then her husband, or I don't, should we call her
Her
Min
boyfriend.
Hwan, her boyfriend
Her
slash
yes.
husband in her old life, he is such a creep.
Yes, he's an oh,
Yes. Even
you
from
know,
episode 1.
Yeah.
I think he is the worst creep I've ever seen in that.
Really?
Don't you think he's like the worst? He's so evil. So
Well, maybe the difference, and I could be wrong, is in the ones that I've seen that have evil characters, they're just evil characters. And they don't pretend to be something different. He pretends to be something different. And I think maybe that for me is the difference is he comes off trying to be such a wonderful, loving person, and he's anything but.
mhm.
No, no. And he like kills every opportunity when Jiwon and him, well, either in their marriage or when they're dating,
Hmm.
he's always ready to call her dummy, stupid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he's always looking for someone else to
Right.
cheat with.
Right.
Like he's the biggest cheater.
Right.
Mhm.
And he doesn't even pretend.
No.
He's open about it with his, well, he pretends with Jiwon,
Right.
but he's open with his friends. Like, I'm looking for a
Mhm.
one night stand. I'm
Right.
looking for a girlfriend.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just
He's just a
disgusting.
creep.
And her best friend is the most evil
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh, she takes the cake for any drama I think so far that I've ever seen. I do not care if I ever see her again. She played the part so good. I cannot stand her.
Again, separating reality from
Yes.
drama.
Right.
The
Yes.
real the real Sumin might not be so evil.
Right.
The
I
real
don't know.
person, the real
I don't
person.
know.
Right. But I mean, talking about her character, you guys told me an interesting fact. You can tell us
You were
since,
the one.
yeah,
She never spoke with Park Min Young during the entire filming of it. She
even personally.
personally never spoke with her.
But I think that's probably so that she could stay in that character.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because she's pretty evil and she had it out for her.
Right. And
S-
how do you portray such a manipulative,
Oh,
crazy, horrible person when you have a loving friendship with somebody, you kind of have to, I think you would have to stay in that frame of mind.
I don't know.
I
She
don't
might be
know.
my favorite actress.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I just want to touch on one thing. Episode 1 still. I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2, but this is a huge theme of this whole drama is that Jawan realizes that what's going to happen is going to happen unless, like you were saying, unless she makes a change.
Mm.
And there's this element of fate.
Right.
And so she realizes I need Sumin to take my fate from me,
Right.
steal my fate. Since she wants my husband,
Right.
she can have him.
Yep.
And that's where you get marry my husband because that becomes her goal.
Right.
I'm going to get Sumin to steal my fate and marry my husband.
Right. And what's the great quote from it? Sumin says to her friend, "Will you
We-
take my trash from me?"
Yes. Yes.
She does not know.
Oh, she's and the way it's because it's in the office,
Mhm.
you almost she assumed, and I think the assumption is, she has a garbage pail over there that needs to be emptied. Oh, but she doesn't know what's waiting
Yeah.
her.
And honestly, when she first says that,
Yeah.
I don't know if I realized what she meant
Mm,
in the first episode or I kind of thought, huh? What does that mean? But it becomes a theme.
right. And a great theme it
A
is.
great,
Yes.
a great
Yeah.
theme. You realize that Su Min has really had it out for Juwon their whole life since when did they meet? Middle school or I don't
Middle
know.
school, 14 or 15 years old. The female lead thought they were best friends,
Mhm.
but this girl has always had a different thought in mind. She's, yes, it's fine that she thinks I'm her best friend, but actually I'm working against her.
Yeah, basically, that's a good way to summarize it.
Right.
And you find out later a little bit why she's kind of manipulated her from the beginning.
Right. Master manipulator. And I don't think anybody, any of their friends, anybody around them caught on to who she really was, or,
Yeah.
what she was really like.
She's so fake.
Yes, but she's
And
so good at it.
yes,
So,
that's, she's such a villain.
right.
She really is an amazing villain.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I can't stand her.
Yeah.
Not quite as passionately as
I could see
Maureen.
her in something else and be okay, but
Me too.
as long as she played a nicer character. If she
I
played a
will be
bad character
surprised.
again,
I don't know.
I know,
think
maybe
she'll
get
be-
typecast.
Yeah,
She might be.
Yeah.
but
'Cause she did it so well.
she did.
Yeah.
She never, there was never anything good about her. The
No.
entire show.
Yeah, she really had not one redeeming quality about her.
Exactly.
So, no.
It's interesting because sometimes when there's villains in K-dramas, you kind of learn why, and maybe they'll have some sort of redeeming quality, even if they're never good. But not
But
her.
you do learn kind of why she's this way a
That's
little bit.
a little bit, but it doesn't.
It doesn't match.
No.
It's not a good reason.
No, it's not for who she is. No.
It's just because she's a psycho.
Well, unfortunately, I think that's it. She mentally is not stable.
Oh, that's a nice way to put it.
Hopefully, we're not giving away all the secrets.
Well, it's obvious she's a psycho, right?
Yes,
Stealing your friend's boyfriend,
Right,
kind of taking part of her in her murder.
right.
Like that's
Wanting
pretty
her
nuts.
place at work too.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
She basically wants to steal her life. Whatever she likes, she's like,
And back in high school,
hmm
goes all the way back to when
Mhm.
they first met, everything she had,
yeah.
she wanted.
Her and the male lead. I know we talked a little bit about this. I think it just makes the whole thing. I love their relationship and Jiwon, she kind of wants to be independent and do everything on her own and kind of seek out this revenge or change the fate by herself.
Right.
She doesn't really want to be in a relationship, but the male lead gives her that space. And he's just kind of a rock and so supportive and understands that she has to work out some of these issues and like kind of the trauma that
Right.
she's had.
Right.
And he doesn't put pressure on her.
Right. And something she hasn't had since her dad died.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
she has not really had a true person, a true friend
Mhm.
that she could rely on.
Mhm.
She thought she did, but she
Yeah.
didn't. So it was good that she finally found somebody that they weren't doing something selfishly. They were doing it for her.
Right. And she starts to look around her and see other people
Right.
for the first time.
Right.
When she lived her life the first time, it's like her evil friend Su Min would always put herself in the way.
Yeah.
And so this second time, she wasn't allowing that.
Right.
And it opened her eyes to all the wonderful
Yes.
people around her.
Right. And not
Yes.
only opened her eyes to that she could have those different relationships, those different friendships, but she was able to help people because of what she had been through, that she was able to see things and help people in ways that she wouldn't have been able to had she not have been through what she went through.
That's true.
I love the way that he, not only does he give her the space, but he's always there to protect her. That's like his number one thing is he just wants to make sure she's okay. No matter what she's going
Yeah.
through, no matter what's going on. Nothing else matters as long as she's okay and she's happy.
I know. I know. And he would sacrifice his happiness
Yeah.
in order to make sure she's happy.
Right.
And it's just the best.
It is.
It's the best romance.
It is. It is. They all
It's
are.
I know, but they are. They're all so good. But one funny scene was when she notices him when he takes his glasses off,
Yes.
and she says, "Have you ever considered contact?"
Yes.
And it's like the next day at work, he comes in, and he's not wearing his glasses, and he's got his contact lens. And wow, yes.
Yes, what, Maureen?
He is. He's very handsome.
He is very handsome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think he's like sending her a message. I'll do whatever you want.
Right.
Right
Mhm.
away.
Didn't he make a suggestion to her and she also did it like overnight? Was it her glasses as well?
I
Or
don't
was it
remember. No, but you're right. You're right, but I don't remember.
I thought there was she had said or he had said something to her and her response back was the glasses, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't remember.
I could
Boy,
be
I need
totally
to pull
wrong,
that
but
up.
I
Maybe we need to watch it again.
maybe we watched it so quickly.
She changed her whole style
Yeah.
and it was funny his reaction because he's her boss at work, but he's like, "Why are you dressed that way?"
And he
Right.
doesn't like it.
Well, he does personally.
Yes, but not
He doesn't want anybody else to see it that way.
Right.
He doesn't.
He doesn't
He wants it all to himself.
I think he doesn't like that she's drawing so much attention.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
that part was so funny. And
Right.
it happens a couple times and it's
Yeah.
like she's not inappropriate.
Right. No, not at all. But she's so different from what
Yes.
she was the day before,
Mhm.
that
Yes.
and not only in the way she looks, but her attitude and her mental, strength. It was just like once she made
Yeah.
that decision and that
Oh, wow.
choice,
Yes.
what was happening in the inside showed on the outside.
Yes, I agree. It was
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
And she really is an amazing character.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this is such a good drama. If you've watched it, you probably know and you're agreeing with us.
Right.
If you haven't watched it, please watch it. It's
Yes. So good.
so good.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk about the cat?
Oh, the cat.
We need to talk about
Yes.
the cat.
We
Okay,
should
I don't
talk
want
about
to
the
you
cat.
talk because I don't want to give away too much. So you
No,
say
I
you're
don't
better.
even know, but there's just this cat and it's
A little kitten.
There's it's a cat from the past
Yes.
that makes its way still into the current,
Mhm.
Yes.
and there's a connection, and that connection just makes it even more special.
It does.
So
Yes.
again, we
It
don't want to give
does.
away all the details,
I
but
know. We don't want to ruin all the moments in case you haven't seen the
no,
drama, but
no.
there's just so many beautiful things. And even though it's a little bit of a revenge story and there's some murder, but there's also love.
Yes, some great love.
It has everything.
It overcomes the revenge and the
Mhm.
evil.
It does. It does. And the way they end this, it doesn't give anything away, but at the end, they're looking at a painting of cherry blossoms.
Yes.
And it ties everything together because they took that new path.
Yes.
And the cherry blossoms come out of the painting too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
for the
leaves.
credits.
Yes,
So the
Yes.
the
leaves.
leaves.
Yeah.
And it just wraps it up so perfectly.
Right.
I don't know
Yes.
who wrote this, but I think we should watch all their dramas because it was amazing.
Yes.
Oh, I bet Serena will know who wrote it.
Written by Shin Yu Dam and I think Park Young. I think that was who
Mm.
wrote it. So
We'll have to look up and see what else they've done.
yes,
But I would rate Marry My Husband 5, maybe
definitely.
a 10.
10 out of 5.
Absolutely.
It was so good.
I feel like it might be in my top 5
Mm-hmm.
Top 5,
of all time.
which really has 500 in it.
Yes. There's so many in my top 5.
Yes, I agree. So
Mm-hmm.
So if you've watched Marry My Husband, please tell us what you think. We want to hear from you. And if you haven't watched it, stop what you're doing. Go watch it.
Yes.
Yes.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the K-Drama Divas podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we did. Before we part ways, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on social media at K-Drama Divas to stay up to date on recent podcasts and to share your thoughts and recommendations.